everyone, welcome to my channel, MaryAnne's Mystic Mentions. I'm MaryAnne. Welcome to your daily Sun Sign Love Connection readings for today. Today is December 22nd, 2020. And the featured sign for today is Scorpio. Before I go any further, for those that are new, I have a format that I've been following for a little while now. And I go around my astrology wheel and I pick the featured sign so that's in an order, and you know what it'll be the next day and so forth. And then Spirit helps me to pick the highlighted connection for today. So the highlighted connection will be a specific message or three specific messages with my beautiful tarot deck, which is the Connolly deck right now for mid-month readings. And it is also something that's supposedly needing to be shown to you, or something that's needing to be brought forth to you that you may already know very clearly about, or maybe not, in regards to this particular highlighted connection. So you have, it's so funny, did I just do Aries? I'm doing this a lot now because there's, a lot of days, a lot of things going on, and I'm just kind of confused. No, yesterday was Libra and Cancer, which is beautiful. I love that. But Scorpio and Aries, let me double check really quick, because if I've just done this highlighted at the beginning of the month versus, a month or so ago, I will then try one more time just to be a little more fair and give you a little more variety. Now, I was doing an individual reading after for every single sign, and I'm keeping that out of the picture for now due to technical things and how my videos shut off after around 30 minutes. And it's noon o'clock right now, so things should be good. But let me double check, like I said. You, Scorpio, last time had Cancer. You also had, let's see. There's been a lot of Aries, though, coming out. And I know why. There was so much fiery, passionate energy coming through during the season of Sagittarius, which only just changed. Scorpio and Scorpio, and then in November it was Scorpio and Capricorn. No, okay, let's do this. Scorpio and Aries, what a dynamic energy that is, and combination, as I will explain to you a little more. But let me just also say that, wow, I'm still literally vibrating from yesterday's incredible grand conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter meeting, more or less, very close in Aquarius. So, if you haven't felt it, or you hadn't recognized, you haven't heard, because if you're on this channel, you're a spiritual seeker like I am, and most people on, tarot reading channels, right? But this is the grandiose of all grandiose. This is the first time in, I believe it was 1623, since they've had the similar planetary, conjunctions and anything even remotely like this. This is one of those, once again, once in a lifetimes. If you live to be 100, which more people are doing, by the way, and doing quite well, there's been so many of those once in a lifetimes this past century. I'm just floored by everything that I've experienced since I have been born. And no, I'm not quite yet that century mark. Getting there, though. So I don't know. I think it's phenomenal. And the reality is that it's really important to me in regards to the featured sign of Scorpio that I just speak this, right off the bat. I always try to speak as authentically as possible as messages and spirit comes through me. That, the dynamic, strength that I feel from the watery element and sign of Scorpio, and the power and the transformational gift that they have, being ruled, more modernly ruled by Pluto, the transformational planet. Which, by the way, today there's a kind of a definite square between Mars and Pluto. So, it's always something, right? But it keeps us moving and shaking and feeling and experiencing and growing and evolving and all those things, which is so relevant to this amazing change with Aquarius energy after many, 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 many years of Capricorn. Earth, you know, stuck. I always want to say stuck. It's not on a negative way. It's just, it doesn't move as much. It's pretty stubborn, and, you know, it stays the same way for long periods of time as it has. And then the air comes in, and it too can be stubborn, don't get me wrong, but it's on a whole different level. It's on the mind and the expansion and the innovations and the creative things and the ways of not only thinking things through always, but being able to communicate and straightforwardly speak things, not keep them behind the scenes a lot of times at the Earth, and, you know, and things that we're not 100% aware of or that are necessarily brought forth. Don't let me get too far off the beaten path. The reality is that I'm back to the fact that Scorpios have this incredible instinctual ability to change like an alchemist. That's how I look at them, and I've always believed strongly about the Scorpion energies and the watery, like I said, the powerful depths of where Scorpios in particular go out of the water signs. You know, and this is to evolve and to reinvent always. This is to look at the darkest, deepest, and not necessarily great aspects of ourselves, of life, and face it head on, and then do something about it and make a change. And that, coupled with this energy that's happening, you know, moving forward as of yesterday and onward for many, many years now, a good couple 100 years, in the element of air predominantly, is, I think, very, very very helpful. And I know that a lot of Scorpios can be internalizing is what I feel. There's a lot of times that many Scorpios, it depends, of course, like I always say, on what your other elements are in your natal chart, okay? If you have a lot of air or a lot of fire, you may get a Scorpio that is very not only capable, but content with saying exactly what they think at that moment, right? And they will not keep anything back. You'll know exactly where they're coming from. This is straightforward, like it or not, here it is, kind of energy. And then if you have the more earth and other water elements, you might be just more like, okay, almost this possessiveness, like I'm not necessarily going to share with you everything I know or feel. I'm going to work it through myself, and in my own time, I will reveal what I think is necessary to help. And, you know, that can be that very seductive, mysterious, and secretive aspect of a lot of Scorpios. You know, and some people say, I didn't see that with the Scorpio I know. Well, maybe it's what I mentioned. Maybe they just have a lot more air and they're just way more vocalizing. They vocalize things easier. They prefer to do that. But the standard, traditional personality trait of many Scorpios is you think you know a great deal about what they are feeling at times, but you don't. And it's only because they need to really understand it themselves. And then when they are interested in a particular subject or person, look out, because there's that possessiveness that comes out. It's like, wow, I want to know you, heart, soul, mind, body. It's everything. It's not. It's all or nothing, right? I've used that as a reference before, but that is what you get. So it's not for everybody, right? But I know a lot of people that I've spoken with, and I personally have had wonderful relationships with Scorpios. And I have a Venus in Scorpio, a Neptune, and a North Node in Scorpio. So I totally feel, legitimately, literally feel, and understand, I think, where a lot of Scorpios are coming from and what they're about. And of course I accept them, and I appreciate them, and I find that they can be incredibly great at sharing and teaching, and maybe even helping people to understand the depths of themselves, if nothing else. They have a dominance about them. There's no mistaking that, okay? They definitely like to dominate a lot of situations. Borderline manipulative, which, you know, has a bad connotation about it, but if it's done in a beautiful way that's going to help circumstances, then by all means, if you have that ability, that alchemist aspect of yourself to change a situation and make it for the better, then it's a beautiful, beautiful gift. And so those are some really interesting, but I think true to form explanations about Scorpios in some respects. And then they are fixed signs, so they're very set in their opinions and things. They're not going to waver, you know. It's black or white, like I said. It's you know, and this emotional aspect to them, this sensitivity that is really, really pretty much unmatched, I would say. It is really coming from a place of almost like a child, this raw emotion that it just, this is how I feel, you know, and I'm not going to hold back. And I, you know, like you equate it to a small child with a temper almost, you know, it's like, whoa, they don't know how to really even explain how they feel, but they have all feeling, and it's just, I've got to let this out. You know, that is also something that I have found, it's kind of endearing in a way, because, you know, as long as you're not in the crossfire and there's some kind of understanding of how, you know, you need to be aware of how you do affect people, which of course a lot of Scorpios have. They're intelligent. In fact, they love the mind, in addition to being the watery element, right? They love the mind and the psyche and how it works. They feel people's energy. They understand things before other people do. They're just amazing in so many ways. So I've been pretty long-winded about that, but I did want to speak what I honestly feel and have experienced with a lot of Scorpios, because they're always in my life, you know, with work, friends, and so forth. It's just, it's more than a coincidence to me, but I've come to find that there's a lot of beautiful, beautiful attributes to Scorpios. But you don't want to cross them, and you don't want to be untruthful to them, because that will not go over well, like with most people, but more so with Scorpios. They don't let go of that easily, you know, and there's that word, that stinger, as they say, with the scorpion comes in. You know, you don't get to do that more than once. Let's just put it that way. It's pretty much done. And then you have the amazing, fiery aspect of Aries. So I was saying earlier, you know, originally, or now, the more modern ruling planet for Scorpio is Pluto, but historically it was always Mars. So see, you had that fiery passion, that straightforward, balls to the walls, excuse me, kind of, this is what's going on, and this is how we're going to get through it, and, you know, no mincing words, right? And that's what the sign of Aries is ruled by too. So there's this kind of infinity between the two of you. You understand that strength. You understand that confidence and that desire to see things through, to see action occur, right? Which is what the fire signs definitely represent. And certainly Aries as a cardinal, you know, initiating this season of spring. They got to make a difference. They got to be in charge. They got to be leaders. And, you know, they're the ram, right? Symbolically, you know, they're the ram that just moves forward and then thinks about it later. So there's kind of this wonderful harmonizing energy of wanting similar things, but just approaching it in different ways when it's with Scorpio and Aries. And by the way, there's always the passion there between the two of you that's hard to mistake. And the fact that there's the water and that, you know, fire, I mean, that's just going to create that steamy, boiling kind of unmistakable energy between the two of you. So as long as it doesn't get out of hand, this is something that would keep you alive and interested in each other's connection for years and years, right? So, and you do have, like I mentioned, the cardinal aspect of Aries, and the fact that they are ruled as well by Mars, which, you know, I still think that predominantly that's the energy of Scorpio many times. And then that transformational part is very appropriate too. So it could be both. I'll go with that. But I think the two of you have had quite the year, and I think that you've really, really sat with this, Scorpio. And I think that you, being who you are, have managed to elevate yourself and rise above it and create this beautiful energy of growth and prosperity and moving on. That's what you do. You are all about the life and death aspects. You get it very, very clearly. And you represent the 8th house. So that's other people's money, it's inheritance, life and death, sexuality, passion, the depths of things and situations that people don't know always necessarily want to look at or study or reveal. So let us see what your 3 major category messages are for this beautiful highlighted connection today. And just know I also read at the end your beautiful oracle divination messages, and I've changed them up for mid-month. And that can be for the highlighted the message, but it could be for all of your connections. And if you don't resonate right away, give it some time. You know how that can be. Just because I'm saying it doesn't make it so this moment, but these are messages coming from spirit, so that has a undetermined time frame to it. So let's see what we got here for you. The first category is always the overall energy. The second is the possible blessings or obstacles. And the third, oh my goodness, well, is finances, material things, the tangible things you can touch, feel, that support, that security we want. And so your first card, the overall energy leading you to this reading, is the 3 of Swords. So this is right off the bat, this is air energy. This is what's so prominent, and this is what was brought forth for all of us collectively yesterday to get a real, real good taste of, because this is what's happening moving forward for 200 years or more, okay? It's about speaking out, justice, fairness for all, not feeling like we independently can't make changes. We can change our own lives, in addition to global help, and so forth. And the 3 of Swords is absolutely having been disappointed, deeply hurt, deeply affected. There's losses with this card. There's all the things that have occurred this year and maybe years prior, right? This involves other people, maybe people that, like I said, you've had to say goodbye to, if not this year, recently. The pain is still there because, as I said, with the water signs and particularly Scorpio, it's so deep, it doesn't just fade away, it's a part of their DNA when they have these emotions. And yes, eventually they once again rise above it, as I said, and the Death card represents the Scorpio, because it does show that everything in life has a beginning and an end, and a life and a death, and figuratively or metaphorically. And so you come into this reading with the 2 of you like it's something that you're still protecting yourself. You're feeling a need to protect. And I don't feel like it had to do with the 2 of you. But as you know, when we come into relationships, even if this has been a long-term relationship, it's still affected you in a way that maybe you're still protecting, and there's a little bit of a blockage there. But that's something that I feel, if nothing else, the energy of this Jupiter and Saturn, just the restrictive kind of focusing on things and keeping you aware of what you need to do, what your responsibilities are. If you want what you want out of life, you've got to make things happen. You've got to initiate things. You've got to show that energy and put that energy forth towards it. So, but then you have Jupiter, right? The absolute opposite of abundance and expansion and ideas and luck and opportunities like you've never seen before, and just beautiful magical experiences, right? Right place, right time, right relationships, meeting just when you thought it would never happen, sort of thing. And so even though you've come into this reading and you had this and have had this with you, I feel like you really are more than you've ever been ready to release those pains, release what's happened in the past, and move forward. Clean slate. number one sign of Aries. You know, they're going to be there. They're going to support you. They're going to be very, very active, and you're going to love their, you know, initial desire and I want to say confidence. That's very, very attractive to you, Scorpio. I've seen this connection so many times. If it's not in love, it's like I said, love connections are about friendships and everything else. It's not just because you're married to an Aquarius, or excuse me, an Aries or a Scorpio. Okay, this goes way beyond that, right? But that's important. That's an important, beautiful message that you know, we may not even realize how blocked off we are at times, and sometimes we're very aware of it. But that's what we need to release, right? In order to go through and start the new year, and then go through the challenges that will bring, as it will. But then we'll ease up and smooth itself out because we've allowed ourselves to release the things that were really kind of a burden to us, right? If for no other reason, or for lack of any other way to describe it. They were not for our highest good. The second card, though, is that of possible blessings or obstacles, and you have the Three of Pentacles. So there you are. From a place and a feeling of, wow, that was a tough one, still feeling it, still healing, but I'm growing. And I'm allowing that growth to happen, and I want it with others. And I want to have more community because I haven't been able to see people like I used to. I haven't, even though you may be a homebody, you still had a few connections, right? And that was taken away from all of us. We all were a part of that, to learn and understand the importance of other people, other connections, and what it means, even if it's through this amazing technology we have, which will only advance with this energy of the air element, and especially in Aquarius, ruled by Uranus. That's all about science and medicine and all the things that can help the world, right? And it has in the past, and it will continue to do that. It's just all inspiring, you know? And I see this as being something having to do with religious or some kind of, you know, rite of passage, or making, yes, I dare say, making that commitment, Scorpio. Because I'll tell you what I do know about Scorpios is when they're involved and they're, you know, they are involved, of course, but when they have made a decision to be with somebody, that's it. But that decision doesn't always happen overnight, and you know what I'm speaking of. You have to really be feeling, you have to understand, and you have to go through you have to heal from things. So it's not a quick progression with you a lot of times, but I can see it happening. I can see you making those steps, and it could be because you've been, you know, mulling over this for a few years already, and you're done with that. This 2020 has made that change for you. That's going to be the major blessing from this year. You've allowed yourself to open up to that real love that apparently could very well be with an Aries. And if you don't know about it yet, this new moon that happened in Gemini, that was the full lunar eclipse. But the new solar eclipse in Gemini last week, Sagittarius, forgive me, so bad. That will initiate this new beginning, this new revelation for yourself, and this amazing feeling of let's do it, and let's be successful in it, and let's give it our all. Because I see success in this message, absolutely. Whenever you have three, it is about growth, and you know, and continue on with whatever expertise that you may be involved in. So if it isn't marriage or anything, it's a business. It's something that's going to grow and give you a lot of gifts from, you know, a lot of opportunities from. And you know how hardworking you are too, Scorpios and Aries. So this is great. I see it as a beautiful thing. And then under the third category, which is the finances, and like I said, things we can touch and feel, the practical parts of our life that keep us feeling secure and stable. You have the Hierophant. So this is very interesting. This represents the sign of Taurus, an earth sign. We've just gone into Capricorn season, right? And this is, once again, what it's been in for so long, the planets and everything. But we're now in Capricorn season. We initiated the winter solstice yesterday, in addition to the planetary alignments I spoke of. It was a huge day, amazing day, and So Taurus is a tradition. It is routine, regulation, authority. It's teachers, it's mentors. It could be you and being the teacher to others. But it is definitely government a lot of times. It's institutions. They're having the say and us following, along with it. So big changes are happening through government. And by no coincidence, of course, I did hear that they have arrived at a stimulus package for, the United States. So this is very interesting that this card would come up. So it may not be exactly what you wanted, but it's definitely going to help you. And it's going to move you in the direction that we all need to start our, momentum going for 2021. And it also has to do with religious marriage and, once again, commitment. So investing, yes, it's financial, but as far as the, like I said, the earthly needs and stability and such, it's about your relationship. It's about what I said, making a commitment and solidifying it. And this feels loving, and it feels secure, and it feels very permanent. So there's two cards representing love, which is, I don't read a love category. I used to when I would do it a different way. But the whole reading is about love. It's just that in regards to this particular connection, there's some real evidence that a majority of you out there, as a general reading, are going to be getting married. And if you had to put it off, that will be happening in 2021, okay? All of the changes happening now are opening up things for us. So being patient and really believing in that will help greatly. I love this reading, though, and just knowing, like I said from the beginning, the overall energy for both of you is that it is time to let go of things from our past, more than ever. It's time to release the burdens that we bring on ourselves, of course, but we don't mean to intentionally. Certainly with things that have been very confusing and not really clear as far as communicating and, conversations that were heard or not heard or spoken or not spoken. And that's done. So that leaves it with a really beautiful, beautiful feeling. And love is important to both of you, both the Aries and Scorpio. So I really love that. And I hope that you understand and resonate with that in some way. And then I'm going to read you, like I said, your beautiful oracle messages. So the first one is this wonderful starseed oracle. And as I always say, and I'll repeat, that this is about just absolute, pure, loving guidance and upliftment, encouragement in your life, messages that will bring and invoke some kind of, trigger to remind you of things you knew or to instigate new possibilities for yourself, new ideas. So let's see what you have specifically, Scorpio, for today and moving onward. And your specific card, they tend to stick together. Let's see if that's what's happening. It feels like it, but maybe not. Yeah. Okay, so the top one is, they're so beautiful. They're so beautifully illustrated. Messenger. This is by Rebecca Campbell, and the artwork is by Danielle Noel. Serious energy, bringing harmony and balance. Look at this beautiful illustration. It's almost like it's you, because we are the God in ourselves, right? And we co-create. And it's just so powerful, and the balance is everything, right? It's everything in our lives. It has to be, because that's the biggest thing that I have taken from the energies and the changes coming forth, is recognizing the imbalance of life for so long, and how that just can't work anymore, and it won't work anymore, and it's not going to. So the fact that came in there was pretty beautiful in my mind. So let me read to you what it says specifically, though, for this wonderful oracle divination message for you. And it's messenger. So let's go in alphabetical order. There it was. You're part of the lineage of souls who have dedicated their lifetimes to the upliftment of the planet. Now listen, that doesn't surprise me, Scorpios, because the majority of you are very, very passionate about the occult or the esoteric aspects of life and the mysteries and the, like we talked about before. You're leaders in this field a lot of times. So of course you've been the ones to uplift the planet. To returning time and again to returning time and again to see the light. The crystalline ones. The ones who are here to plant the sacredness of life back in. To honor both the sacred feminine and masculine. To usher deep reverence back in. Many ascended masters are thought to be connected to the energy of Sirius. Often appearing as a shade of blue, they hold the frequency of pure love and are here to help the masculine and feminine exist in harmony. Well, I think you know all about that. I really, really do. To ensure greater balance, to help us see that we're all connected and that the masculine and feminine energies exist within all of us. You're being called to bring out this balance and harmony between the masculine and feminine, to be a guardian of harmony and balance on Earth. Think of the whales traveling around the globe, sharing love through their healing vibrational song. Their unique notes send balance and harmony to every corner of the planet. I had heard something about that. I mean, that just gives me goosebumps to think about. They're incredibly intelligent mammals. And that's what they do. That's their part here. A rebalancing of the masculine and feminine energy occurring worldwide. Well, we know, we can feel that. It's a resurgence of the sacred within all of us. A returning of the sacred union within, a rekindling of heaven and earth. You can begin to bring harmony and balance by creating it in your own life. The ripples will flow from there. You can honor and balance the sacred masculine and feminine energies within yourself and others. Now, the Starseed Soul Inquiry. How are you being called to bring harmony to your life or the planet? How are you being called to honor the sacred masculine and feminine within you? Well, I've never pulled that one. They're still new to me. But I absolutely love it, and it just, to me, represents the intensity and the powerful, passionate side of you. That can, like I said, the alchemist, creating that balance, within you, but with the world. I mean, enough of you, and it's over. It's all changing, right? We're going to get that balance. So that's spectacular. I'm happy that came for you. I think it makes perfect sense. Then I'm going to read your animal medicine cards, because it is about the spirit animal that we have that guides us, each and every one of us. And, how important, what an important role that the animals play in our world, in our lifetime, and now how we can really, hopefully, bring some perseverance to that. Is that the word I'm saying? I want to say the one where we can just keep them safe, basically, right? That's so important. I got this yesterday. Wow. That's crazy. This is like not three times in a row, but this is a prevalent one. And I have a feeling it has a lot to do with the fact that, as I said, the beautiful total eclipse, solar eclipse in Sagittarius, who is a horse, half man, half horse, symbolically, keeps coming up. So there's messages and information coming with that eclipse that will continue on for you to help move you forward and to heal or do whatever it is it needs to do. But I always look at it as higher learning and education and, movement, shooting for the stars and getting our dreams fulfilled type of thing. The optimism that comes with, certainly with Sagittarius, is pretty unmistakable. And you two make a good connection too, a lot of times. So this is good for you. This is great energy. But I'll read to you what it says specifically. And it says, free and easy wanderer. Horse ambles and gallops across great distances with playful comrades. Horse blesses wanderlust and unrestrained beauty, showing us that what it might look like to be expressive, sensitive, and free. Life may require you to hold on to your feelings sometimes, and I think you do, to stay controlled, right? Very true. It's okay so long as you remember to make space for your emotional self. And if you have been mulling over a sadness or resentment for long enough, Horse teaches you that you can feel deeply without forgetting how to relax into unhindered, boundless delight. Shake out your mane, galloping into the long golden shadows of sunset. Interesting we would say shadows, right? Because you get that, right? Yeah, I love this. That's very, very perfect, right, Scorpio? You know what I'm saying. And it's a gorgeous message. And then last but not least, I always like to do the super attractor manifestation message where you can feel your life purpose and the life you choose into existence. You are an amazing manifester. You always have been. And you can show many others how to do that, which may be what you choose to do if you haven't already. And who knows what that'll do for you and how that will just transform your life yet again, right? This channel has been so healing for me, and I've done, astrology and tarot for so many years, but this vehicle, if you will, during this year when I wasn't able to work, and I'm still not now again as a massage therapist, I revel in this. I love to share with you. And I just ask Spirit to bring out the truth and the reality of what's happening in this moment. And the rest just kind of, falls into place. But I really appreciate you being here. And if you want and you did like this, please do let me know by subscribing and liking and commenting so I can continue to do it and bring you more content throughout the years. And your specific beautiful message is... And I mean beautiful. Oh my gosh, I don't remember pulling this card in so long. And it's such a beautiful expression of you. Here's the third eye, that incredible psychic, intuitive aspect to you as a water sign. And just believing in spiritual guidance gives me certainty and the freedom to keep dreaming, even when I can't yet see the result. Because I don't think you ever give up, and I think you feel and know what's coming. I think you understand the trends and the currents and life's answers. I really do. Isn't that gorgeous? And the stars, just believing and being a part of them, because we are a part of all of this. And that's for you. That's for you. That's for your highlighted connection. That's for your every other connection that's possible. And I pray that you're doing well and you're feeling that inspiration, because I'm sending it to you tenfold, and just love you and appreciate you. So take good care. If you don't come back, for whatever reason, have an amazing holiday, however you celebrate it, and hopefully I'll see you in the new year. Take good care. Thanks. Bye-bye.